All right, guys, we're back in the arches area, my new section for gardening. I can't wait because the rest of my garden is like 9 feet tall and just looking at it is like pretty helpless. So this new section's been a lot of fun. Everybody wanted an update on planting. Planting went really well. We've had some, of course, crazy, not normal Ramona weather, but what the hell is normal anymore? So I did two things. I had a lot of plants already pre-seeded in the house, and I commonly will do that because I'm so impatient that come February, I'm gonna seed that stuff no matter what. But I also did some direct seeding, which I don't do very often, because if you look at my garden, you cannot direct seed pretty much anymore. There's too many bugs living in all the other stuff I always keep, that when you direct seed, you look at these little guys that just popped out, they have nothing to protect themselves. So they're just munched up generally. So I don't normally do this, but this section is new. There's no bugs in it. I knew I could. So I wanted to show you guys, we've got an update on these seedlings. I probably only put in about a week and a half ago. There's a variety of pumpkin and winter squashes, basically. Also cucumbers, more heavy trellising cucumbers, like something like an Armenian or any type of super duper vining. I put those on here. I don't put so much, I didn't waste space with cucumbers because I have this fence here, and I needed this for heavy stuff. Believe it or not, the chain link sags when you put too much heavy stuff on it. So we can see, I'll show you. Now, you're gonna look at these guys down here and go, these look like crap. Well, okay, I'm kind of one of those people that am very impatient, so they actually don't look like crap. They look like crap compared to what is direct seeded, and they always will. Anything direct sown will look beautiful. It will never grow too tall, linky, whatever. In the house, it's always gonna grow tall and linky, I can promise you. So, I start them though. The reason why is because I know I can't do this in most of my area. And if you cannot, because of the bugs, you're coming out and it's gone, stop, okay? Don't keep doing the same thing. What happens when you actually seed them and give them, 4 to 6 weeks, is you'll notice when you're at Home Depot and you feel them, they're spiny. You start feeling under here, it's already developed all of its hairs. So now it's developed its mechanism. Generally at this point, now I'm not going to tell you it's not going to get eaten. If a rabbit's in here, you'll never even know you planted anything. But for the roly-polies and earwigs and all that stuff that I get, they will not consume your plant. Again, now bigger critters, yeah, they'll take it down. But as this starts getting bigger, they won't either. Once it sets in to get bigger leaves, they'll no longer want it because it's too spiny. The only thing that's not spiny is generally a melon, like cantaloupes and stuff, and those, yeah, you got to be careful. Okay, so you can see these aren't the healthiest looking, but we've got new growth. So I'm very happy we're taking, and this soil has had really nothing put on it. We used to store a truckload of hay for the cows, and we no longer use it for that. So I feel pretty good. Now I'm going to show you something kind of interesting that's kind of fun to see, and you can see tomatoes all planted. These are called mini Marzanos. So those wonderful little paste tomatoes, this is a mini version where they only get 2 feet tall. I love that. Okay, so if we move backwards, and Rhea, don't fall. Yeah, you got it. I want to show you that some did not make it. Okay, now let's take a peek. These look like crap. I mean, this is butternut. Those leaves, right? And oddly enough, you see the white on that, and folks, that's not powdery mildew. What's interesting is this white, until we started getting all the chemtrails, we were never getting this when it rained. Now the baby plants, it's very odd. It's not sun scald either, guys. I know y'all want to tell me what it is. It was very odd, and you can see on this guy, really, even the white around everything. Well, they didn't like the heavy rain that we got right when I put them out, but by the next day, even though, thank goodness, they didn't like that, they started shooting out some baby shoots, so we didn't kill anything. You can see they're not the best looking, but that's life. If you got that and you don't see it progress, pull it. Plant something else. If you don't want to pull it because you're too frightened thinking you're pulling a lot, put another seed in there at least, so you've got a backup plan, because these could still croak. Doesn't matter. Now, if you come look over here, what's so cool about it is you'll really see how when we compare the two sides, and this is quite common, one side will do better than the other because of the sun coming up and coming down on it, which is always kind of fun because you'll go, this side died. Why? Well, maybe that's where the sun came up and it was too much early. So here's another thing I want to talk about. My spacing. What is my spacing? It says I need 4-foot spacing on those tomatoes. I know, and they're full of crap. Go ahead and do the 4-foot spacing. You'll have like 2 tomatoes. We, as in most of us farmers, are spacing, heck, under a foot even. You know why? Because most of them are probably gonna die, and if they don't, just thin them out. Get rid of some of the branches so you don't have too much growth. You can remove a few things. Anything can use pruning. We always heavily plant because chances are stuff's gonna die. I don't have to come back and replant. I'm almost kind of praying some of it dies. So that's why you'll see my spacing on the melons so tight. You can see right here, after the rain, we got massive sun the following day to make sure it killed them real good. But, and what's odd is look at this guy. Its neck is killed, but it's still like, I'm trying to grow. So have your seeds for the few that die, come back in. When I do my seed spacing, if we go up further, you'll even see, they're really tight because you can thin them. So when I direct sow like this, if I put 1 seed per 2 feet, you really think I'm gonna get anything to eat? No. So I heavily seed. Now what I can do is I can come back in while they're babies. You can give your neighbor some. We commonly are on the exchange at my yoga class. My God, all it is I think a exchange of plants beforehand. Anyway, you can pull these little guys out, just put them in a little clump of soil, give them to friends. You know, it's not a bad thing. There's too many, but here's the plus. I can make sure to choose the healthy ones. You can see this little guy. He's not the healthiest. We'll get rid of him. And even then, look at the good root we got on him. I mean, that's a pretty good root considering I didn't like the soil here, but I don't have time. It's going to take me a year to compost it completely. So again, I love doing the direct sow. If you're able to do it and you're in a state that you don't struggle like me with the little bugs, we're in a drier area, and so like people talk about using straw and stuff. Geez Louise, do not use it here. I went through a straw fad. Let me tell you, you are inviting every earwig in the country to come eat your stuff. It's just awful. So we have to be careful what we compost. This is basically a combo of, I think this is all cow poop in here. Yeah, that's definitely all cow poop right there. So we only use chunks we know are small enough that, you know, only so many critters can live in it. But I can assure you, I just watered this, but if I had, oh, look, there's a worm. But if I hadn't, oh, he's mad. Oh, he says no. If I hadn't watered, you'd see all the earwigs that were out here because, boy, they're everywhere. So I think the update, guys, is going quite well. You can see this arch again. Same thing. We are fully planted, and these things are just loaded up in winter squash, guys. I don't know about you, but when it comes to wintertime, I don't care if you're a vegetarian, meat eater, or what the heck you eat. That winter squash, man, it stays for 6 to 9 months. I got pumpkins still just gorgeous from last year, ready to be eaten. So we invest a lot of time and energy into that. And of course, I'm a pickle addict. So I have to have 8 million cucumbers. And then I throw in sometimes just really weird melons. I love the Arava melon. I think that it's called an Israeli melon. If you've not grown it, oh, you don't even know what good is. It looks basically like a cantaloupe, netted on the outside, about this big, green on the inside. It smells of perfume, and you may never eat anything but that ever again. Highly suggest the Arava. A lot of Indian melons. Charentais, you guys, those do great on this, and those die out in the field because of the downy mildew and all the problems they get. They're such a delicate little French breakfast melon. Anything, just about anything. I'm getting a lot of posts from people and messages about what they're planting. It's all good. Anything. A big question I'm getting, what about the inside? Yes, folks, the inside will be planted. It is not planted yet. Hold on, folks. I run only everything myself. I can only do so much. It is not planted because it's a little silly to go that deep right now. I still have to maneuver inside and out. I'm gonna have to get these trellising, and you have to weave these. I mean, the pumpkin does not just say, go about your business and I will trellis myself. No, we have to direct everything. So I basically can only do so much at one time. But I'm very happy with the turnout, considering you'll see, I'm gonna come around you here, and if we come back this way, you're gonna see these tomatoes look like they're in just sand. My backyard where we're at, a couple hundred years ago, was just sand. It was like a giant creek bed. So where we're developing better areas, they're getting better, but this was not touched. Remember, I was just storing a truckload of hay. So we'll do a little point here on the potatoes. Now, we did a video that was live on the potatoes. Probably should have not done live because I think it erases it and you guys don't get to see it anymore. But what was cool was we were using, of course, over here, our bitch and fork. I've now completed, I had done the video and only did, I think I want to say the top, I had a little mark where I had gone to. I think it was right about here. Was where I stopped. And then I got a million more potatoes. And I seem to have even gotten more recently, where I just can't seem to stop with the potatoes this year. So not only did I do my normal 2 rows of potatoes, I had to start doing on the outside a 3rd row, because I even have 40 more pounds I still have to get in the ground. But what's cool is I wanted you guys to see potatoes we planted weeks ago, and then I think this midsection right here might be again, I might have done 3 plantings in here, guys, because I kind of get like that where I don't even remember what I've done. But I can assure you, from the growth here that we're seeing and the growth up there, and then this has no growth yet, this is probably 3 plantings. So you can see, you can just keep coming back to that area and working your way down it. I'm only going to harvest when they're all ready. And that's the way it works, is 2 weeks in between anything isn't going to be too much to say that, oh God, what if they need to be cured and these don't? Stop overthinking it. More tomato rows here, guys. Little babies. I break all the rules, so I love 200 cell starts. They're very tiny. I hate wasting my time growing them out to beasts and then putting them out here. I'm too impatient. So these little guys, I'm very happy. I mean, I did no hardening off. I'm that girl. Their hardening off is like, old grandma saying, do you want some cheese with that wine? Because I pretty much slam these guys out here and I'm like, survival of the fittest, guys. So you better hang in there, because guess what? If you die, I already have your backup. So you might want to show me how strong you want to be. And do you know this row? I am so, none of them have died. They took my advice. The watermelons didn't take my advice. We'll probably have to replace a few. Not a big deal. Question about watermelons before I start talking about the bitchin' boots I'm wearing. Watermelons can be tricky. Yes, folks, certain melons, I put Israeli melons on this. They will slip off the vine. I was suggesting advice to everybody not to do items that slip. And that is because if you haven't done it, you're gonna forget about them and lose all your food. If you have done it before, there is ways of actually growing things that will fall and keeping them supported, so you collect your fruit till it's ready. There's a lot of silly little methods. Some of the cheapest ones is just cheap stockings, cheap sheets, cheap anything you can find from the dollar store. But there is a lot of ideas people are starting to come on to. So yes, you can grow all kinds of stuff on this. It's almost endless. But I want to talk about boots, guys. Let's switch gears to boots. Okay, so I got a new pair of boots on here. Now, I'm not one for clothing, fashion, or anything, but I can assure you I need good boots. I have a lot of hogs, we have a lot of animal, and everything that I've ever worn, I blow out of them. I mean, from the cheapest at Tractor Supply, which I loved, to I bought recently, last year, a really expensive pair for 125 bucks, which I have to say I loved. You notice how I used the word loved? So I just had a company called, I'm probably mispronouncing, High C. Don't know, look at the label. And you know what? They said, would I like to try out a pair of the boots? Now, I've never done this before, guys, because, you know, I have nothing, no ads or nothing, but I needed boots. So I was like, heck yeah, I'll try a pair. Now, my pair that was $125, I love. So I didn't think I could be happy, but I knew I needed a new pair of boots anyway. So I took them. Well, I put these babies on, and I gotta tell you, they're kind of like awesome because they're like a shoe. Now, I chose, I don't know what model. I think it was a hunting model. It wasn't just a rain boot. But I love that, like my old pair, it's a neoprene, like wetsuit material. So they're lighter because like my pair of boots that I'm retiring, they're heavy, heavy. And the sole has not got as much traction. In fact, all winter, my most favorite boots, I almost broke my neck like 15 times. Even the girl laughing behind the camera when she was with me filming a few times, she was wearing her tennies, flat out, almost slipped like a stick of butter. There's nothing worse than a chicken and turkey areas. Their little feet seem to just make a horrible mess of the ground. So these boots have a traction that I've already been through all these areas, and I'm quite impressed with like almost a hiking sole. So all I want to say is my other boot, which I was quite satisfied only going to own those. I never thought I'd say this, but I was banging them out just a minute ago because I said I want to just compare the soles because I just want to show you guys what the difference could be. And this boot is half the cost of my other boot. Holy smokes. Guys, I go to bang my favorite boots. My finger rips through the bitch and outside. Now, I don't know about you, but I get a hole right here. How well am I in the rain? I mean, it ripped this whole section of the good pair of boots. So, now, my review, guys, I don't have a lifetime review here, but there's a few points I did notice when I got the box. It said like a lifetime warranty. I've never even seen that on a boot. Now, I'm sure the company is not going to, after you tear them apart, give you a new pair. But it sounds like they've got a pretty good policy, which I've never seen that on a boot. So, I mean, you're looking for something and you're doing a lot of what I'm doing and you're tired of, it used to be the $20 boot. I think it's a $40 boot, the crappy Tractor Supply boots now. You're tired of going through a couple of those. Step your game up a little. Like I say, I mean, it seemed like their stuff ranged from reasonable priced, I don't know, it was like 30 or 40 up to, I think their most expensive was only like 75. So again, I'm not going to mention the name of my other boot because they are a good company and don't deserve me to pick on them. But geez, I'd like 2 years out of those boots. So again, I think it's called High C, guys. I could be totally wrong. I don't know what the real pronunciation is, but they have a cool buckle in the back. Okay, so this is fancy. I don't have that on my other ones. So what's nice is I can open it up a little bit more to get all the hay out because I hate when the hay gets in them. And like I say, it's fitted, which is unusual. My other boots didn't have arch support. So again, I don't know durability as far as when the cow trips me and smashes, you know, or the pigs repeatedly abuse me. But as far as what I've worn in a few days now, I'm very happy, and I'm definitely very happy to shoot a little business their way because I think that at this point, I feel that they've got a good boot. So boom, go get yourself a pair of High Cs if you actually want something comfortable. Otherwise, get the Tractor Supply boots. So guys, well, I think this is it on our Arches video and our boot bonanza, but I hope that each week that comes on, we can get some new videos of in here and show you what's going on. But I think what we're gonna do right now is end this video, and I'm gonna shoot over and show you guys the ashwagandha, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. The ashwagandha, which I planted like 2 years ago to harvest. And I have a problem with overplanting so much stuff that I didn't harvest, and now it is like a section. So let's go over there and I'll show you guys what that's like.